to Spain in October was a wonderful idea. After a really long consideration, my friends and I agreed on Alicante. It's a beautiful coastal city situated between Valencia and Murcia, and it's known as one of the sunniest cities in Europe. But to be fair, the end of October was kinda rainy in Alicante too, at least on the very first evening. We started our next day by exploring one of the best neighborhoods in Alicante called Santa Cruz. It's part of the old town and dates back to medieval times when it's set just below the walls of the Castillo de Santa Bárbara. Originally, it was a fisherman's and working-class neighborhood, home to many of Alicante's oldest families. Personally, it reminded me of Barcelona's Gothic quarter in a way. We are now strolling through Alicante and trying to find an Instagrammable building that we accidentally found also some time ago. And we can't. I mean, there are a lot of beautiful buildings, but none of them is exactly that one that we are looking for. And I'm actually not sure if we can find it because the address is like a street. And the street doesn't seem to have this building, but I think it's just hidden like behind some passages and behind some other buildings, but I'm not sure we'll manage to. But anyway, it's kind of worth visiting because the houses are like colorful and they are beautiful for taking pictures, but at the same time it's a very residential area, so a lot of people actually live there, so keep that in mind in case you want to come here to make photos or something. Santa Cruz is bursting with color. You'll find whitewashed houses with bright blue doors and window frames covered in flower pots and tile street names. It also felt pretty calm here, with lots of small restaurants and cafes. We did it, we found the house that we were looking for. It was somewhere else entirely, not where the Google Maps showed. I'll leave you like the name of the house, the exact name of the house that you should search for. It's not like the address that you'll find on Google, as always. We were looking for the famous little house with the blue flower pots, one of the most photographed corners in the whole city. Locals say the house's owner started decorating the facade decades ago to brighten up the neighborhood, and others followed. It inspired the colorful style seen through Santa Cruz today. The best advice here is not to focus only on this one house, but to explore others as well. Just keep in mind that these are private homes, so be respectful when taking photos, and you can also leave a small tip for the homeowners. From there, you'll find amazing viewpoints of Alicante's bay and the Santa Bárbara Castle, so take your time to enjoy. I wanted to make a tour of our Airbnb, but it's already a bit messy, so we'll just focus on the beautiful view. The beautiful view, it's the 15th floor. Sadly, we didn't get the seaside, but anyway, it's beautiful. The whole city from the bird's eye view. In the central part of Alicante, you'll notice some enormous ficus trees. They were originally native to Australia. They were planted in Alicante in the early 20th century, and since then they've grown into massive sculptural giants. The Esplanada de España is probably the most famous landmark downtown. It's a palm-lined promenade decorated with over 6 million marble tiles, forming a wavy mosaic pattern that looks like the sea. The place is great for taking pictures, shopping, or just strolling. Alicante belongs to the Costa Blanca region, which means white coast. One of the most prominent landmarks near the city is Castillo de Santa Bárbara. It towers above Alicante and offers the best panoramic views. We'll visit it in the next episode, so stay tuned. Good morning from the beautiful Alicante, from the 15th floor. Today we are planning to go to the smallest inhabited island in Spain, the Tabarca Island. It's actually really cool because it has a pirate past. There are around 50 permanent residents there, and since it's the smallest one, it's actually very much doable to explore everything on foot, and I'm excited to see it and show it to you as well. Going to Tabarca Island was a great idea. The most well-known company operating between Alicante and Tabarca is Contique Cruceros. We had a bit of a trouble finding the right boarding spot, but essentially you should look for a red boat in the harbor. That's most likely the one. At the time of our visit, there were two boats to Tabarca at 10:45 and 12, and the return boats to Alicante were at 2:20 and 5 o'clock. At the moment, there is only one boat per day going to Tabarca and back, so make sure to double check the schedule as it changes depending on the season. One-way boat ride is about 1 hour, and the island itself is not big at all. Fun fact, in the past, Tabarca was frequently used by Barbary pirates. To stop piracy, King Carlos III ordered the island to be fortified and resettled. We are on the island already and it's super peaceful. Our boat was almost full, but it's kind of still peaceful here. I don't know, I think people just spread all over the island and you can go like one way or another. And in the middle there is like the city or like the town, basically where you can eat and shop and do everything else. And if you go left or right, you'll see like cliffs and maybe like a church or some remote places, and there are so many seagulls and they are huge. Like a really cool place to observe. We first went to the beach to watch the seagulls and then continued to a more remote part of the island. It was a great spot if you just want to relax. After our little stroll, we headed to the old town. The fortified walls are surprisingly well preserved, and the old town is actually classified as a historic artistic site. Tabarca is car-free, which keeps the island quiet and charming. You can walk across the entire place in under 20 minutes. Interestingly, we did spot a small police vehicle. Another fact that really surprised me is that Tabarca is a hotspot for migratory birds. Thanks to its location, the island serves as a perfect resting spot for birds migrating across the Mediterranean. The town is also absolutely beautiful. There's white houses and colorful doors. Reminds me as well of Gran Canaria and Cruz. Probably they all have like the similar Mediterranean vibe. And you can also find something to eat and to drink here. And they have amazing, delicious gelato that we just ate with banana. There are also quite a few restaurants where not only people were eating, but also the island's birds and cats. Some restaurants tend to get much fuller than the others, so to avoid long waiting times and the stress of running for the ferry, choose a less crowded one. After all, they all serve pretty much the same fish and seafood. I didn't expect much from this island. In fact, I didn't even know it existed before coming here. But that's the beauty of the spontaneous trips. You can discover something truly wonderful without any expectations. So if you're wondering whether a trip to Tabarca is worth 23 euros, it's definitely a yes from my side. I imagine that in summer there are even more activities like snorkeling and similar things, so definitely check it out. When you're in Alicante, one of the first things you'll probably notice is the Castillo de Santa Bárbara. It's visible from many parts of the city, especially from the seafront. And you know what? It's actually possible to climb up there free of charge. After a short discussion, we decided it would be best to visit the castle at sunset. So we headed up in the afternoon. It was a bit of a walk, but the incline was steady, so it was manageable, at least for me. Apparently there is an elevator somewhere here, but we didn't find it. So we're just climbing up the hill to catch the sunset because the views are supposed to be great. The castle has an interesting history. For example, it was named after a saint because of a coincidence. It once served as a prison. Also, its origins go back over 1000 years, so there are definitely quite a few facts that you can read about. Many people come here for the views and for a good reason. Because it sits 166 meters above the sea level, so it provides the best views of the city, the port and the bay. But there are also several expositions that you can visit. They seemed to be free of charge as well. So we found a place to take beautiful photos. It's a bit full today, but probably to be expected. And the area is actually huge. We didn't expect it will be so interesting also because they have like different kinds of pavilions with expositions and different kind of stuff. So it's also like a museum, not just a castle with beautiful views. So just plan more time, I guess, if you're interested in this stuff, because it's getting late and I think we won't be able to see like the half of what's inside. We found out where the lift was. Basically, you'll need to approach the castle from the seaside. But as mentioned, it's also doable on foot if you have more time. Another place that we wanted to visit in Alicante is El Palmeral Park. It's great if you want to spend some time in the shadows. One of its most charming features is the system of waterfalls, ponds and winding streams. You can even cross some of them by wooden bridges. We are in Palmeral. Right now we finally reached our destination because it was a bit outskirts of the city and it's magnificent. It's like a paradise here. We just randomly found this location on TikTok and it seems to be free of charge, at least we didn't pay anything, but I also think we didn't enter it through the central door. And they have like different kittens all over the place. It's so cute here, I don't know. But apart from the kittens and the palm trees, there is a waterfall that we saw upon the entry, and I think it's like a botanic garden, sort of, because there are also different kinds of plants here and flowers, beautiful sights. El Palmeral has playgrounds, picnic areas, bike paths, and lots of open space. By the way, it's also free of charge. There is a direct bus that goes from the city center. We tried walking there first, but the road was a bit odd, to be honest, so it's definitely better to take the bus. Another famous location in Alicante is the so-called Mushroom Street, and the history behind it is also quite fascinating. The street's official name is Calle San Francisco. For many years it had a bad reputation. Poor upkeep, insecurity, illegal activity, and a general sense of neglect. Around 10 years ago, the city government decided to transform the street into something completely different. A cheerful, pedestrian-friendly and welcoming zone. As part of that effort, they gave it a bold makeover and installed giant mushrooms. You'll find plenty of shops and cafes in the area. We stumbled upon a nice tapas place nearby. And by the way, don't expect a tapas menu, apparently the locals don't need one. There is also a great spot for empanadas with lots of different flavors. If you enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up.